Medical units stand by. 30 seconds to contact. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
We got him. Let's go.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Proof of Comics. I'm your host, Frédéric Guimont, and this is episode number 96. We got an exciting guest for you tonight. We got a great comic book campaign to look at, too. I think you guys are going to get excited for this one. This is one people have been talking for a little bit. We got someone who we don't see all that often in the space, but we're going to get to know him tonight. But before we get to that, let me introduce my co-hosts. As always, I'm here with Wrangler Frequency Studios. How you doing, sir?
A whole lot of Ola. I'm doing pretty good. Was just doing some more polishing on my manuscript for book number 3 before the show started. It's coming along.
So how do you know when it's polished enough? Does it need to be shiny and reflect the light? And how does that work?
Well, when I turn on a 50 candle watt bulb, I want to be blinded by 100 candle watt reflection.
Okay,
So for now, it's when I finally get through the whole thing, and then I gotta toss it to the beta readers and have them. I gotta have them shower me with insults so I know where else I need to polish.
That's the way it works. That's good, man. It's good to have beta readers. They kind of bring you down to ground and tell you if what you thought was working really does work or not.
Oh yeah, what works in my own head is not always necessarily reality. So I do need that contrast there.
Well, it's because you have the full story in your head, so you're never missing any piece as the writer. So
yeah, that's true. A lot of times you look at something and think that looks great, but you have a whole bunch of context in your head that nobody else does. So you don't realize you're leaving big chunks of it missing, and you don't see that until somebody else. You need another pair of eyes.
That's right. Speaking of another pair of eyes, we got our other co-host here, Chris Fisk from Infinitale Chronicles. How you doing, sir?
Hey, yeah. I apologize if I suddenly jump out unannounced. It's because Mother Nature has other plans. There's like a massive thunderstorm hitting me right now.
Oh, I thought you were saying you had to go to the bathroom or something. So
IBS can strike at any time.
That's also acceptable.
Like lightning.
It's also acceptable.
Oh boy, it's got to be a photo finish. No,
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting that storm down here too soon.
yeah, it's pretty bad up here. The sky opened up.
Understandable, man. Hopefully you can stay in for the show because you're not going to want to miss this one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so without further ado, let's get to our guest here. I'll blow you up a little bit, John, to give you the introduction here. Thank you so much for coming in, sir, because I remember, Chris, we were looking at his campaign almost a month ago now, I think. We're going through Fund My Comic. We like to go through campaigns, and we saw yours, and the art was the first thing that struck me. And you've got a fantasy kind of theme happening as well. And no one had seen you before, at least not in this space. And but that's not for trying, because this is not your first campaign. Would you like to give us a little bit of an introduction? Like, what's your background, how you got into comics, and more specifically, how you got into this indie comic space here?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me on and letting me talk about this here. How did I get into comics? How does anyone get into comics? Well, you start as a reader. And for me, I was an Air Force brat growing up. And so, that was, I grew up in...
My dad was in the Air Force as well, Canadian Air Force. Yeah.
Nice. So I grew up in like the Philippines and Germany, Spain, Italy, Utah. We moved about every 3 years.
I grew up. I was born in Germany. I was born in Baden. Well, not on the force base, but that's where my dad was working. That's interesting. Cool, man. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm just.
But one of the things that was consistent about everywhere we moved is, every base has a bookstore.
Yeah.
And so the bookstore always had comics. And, so I didn't have the same kind of comic shop experience, except for when we were stationed stateside briefly. But, I probably, G.I. Joe was the main intro into Marvel and Spider-Ham and even the...
Spider-Ham.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have Spider-Man, but they had Spider-Ham. And so that was, at some bases, that was as close to Spider-Man as you could get. And I remember also having books from Star Comics like Top Dog and Planet Terry, which was, a little bit of sci-fi for kids. And then when I was in 7th grade, we ended up stateside in Utah, and I got introduced to comic shops and the X-Men and, all these kind of mind-blowing things. That,
you got a Barry Windsor Smith shirt on right now.
Yeah.
One of the best Wolverines ever made, too.
Weapon X.
Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate that so many other people have taken Weapon X and done so much with it, because it's like, it's a quasi-perfect graphic novel. And then, you also get everyone else's take on it, which, I understand, because we all like to play with other people's toys. But anyways, my history with comics, when I was in Utah, I got to meet a comic book artist in real life for the first time. And this was a brand new guy who had just kind of blown up with some work that he had done on the Hulk and Marvel Comics Presents. And his name is Sam Keith.
Oh, wow.
And I was able to talk my dad into taking me to the mall where Sam Keith was doing a signing. And I think the signing started at 9. We probably got there around 11. And there was a line winding all the way around the mall and then down the second floor all the way around the mall. And so it must have been like 3,000 people, maybe 5,000 in total in line. And, my dad was like, do we really have to do this? And I was like, yes, absolutely. I'm going to stay for this.
Can't miss this.
And, I had my books. I had a list of questions that I had written out because I wanted to ask, an actual Marvel Comics artist about, how everything works and how he decided, what to put in the panels and when to add so much detail and when not. But I ended up holding the sign that said, "This is the end of the line." And
Oh, you were the last one that was allowed. Whoa!
And the signing stops here. I think after, someone came up to me after we were there for a few minutes, and they're like, "Can you hold this?" I was like, "Sure." And then I got there probably at the end of the day, right? So it's like 5 or 6 p.m. now, and I'm the last guy going up to the table, and I was so starstruck, I just totally froze. Like my 13-year-old self was not ready for this moment. And I think when I got there, I said something like, "Buh." And
Well stated.
yeah. But Sam he was so nice and so kind. And he was like, "Hey, bud, you've been in line for a while." And he's like, "Would you like me to sign those?" And, I nodded and he kind of chatted with me and, just signed everything that I brought and then gave me a little kind of headshot drawing. And, I think I said, "Buh." That was my way of saying thank you. And, I think I just kind of have been in love with comic books my whole life. It's like, to me, it is the superior storytelling medium that we have.
Yeah.
I prefer it even over film.
Yep.
And so I went to art school in San Francisco. And after art school, I worked for a while as a freelance illustrator. I did some children's books and I did some advertising illustration. Strangely enough, most of that was for steakhouses. And
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no. Well, it pays really well. And it's like, if you're going to draw, you want to draw in advertising.
Yeah.
Did you get steaks as a perk?
Yeah, go to the meats.
No, I never got any steak coupons, but I had enough money that I could afford steak at that point. So that was good.
Not every comic artist can say that.
No, not at all.
But but then I needed something a little more steady.
And before you go on, I want to just close the parentheses with Sam Keith, because he passed away. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to say rest in peace, Sam. And he was an incredible talent. I purchased that Marvel Comics Presents with Wolverine. I remember he's another artist. We were talking about McFarlane before the show started, but Sam was another artist that really brought his own style. Like, he wasn't afraid to do things his own way. How did that kind of affect you when you heard of his passing a couple of weeks ago?
Well,
one of the first you met.
For lack of a better word, it affected me bigly. I think I was a little bit withdrawn. I think for 2 or 3 days, and even my kids were asking me, "Is everything all right?" And and I told them that, like, this artist who I really admired and looked up to, that he had passed away. And I think what made it kind of more tragic for me was not knowing the condition that he was in and how much pain he'd been in for these last few years. And,
I was not aware of that. I did not hear that part. He was he suffered before. He was like, he had some ailment what was the situation, if you don't mind?
I don't remember exactly, and I don't want to think I have it right and say it wrong.
No, of course not. Yeah, I don't want to make you say anything you're not sure of either. But I hadn't heard the details. He wasn't that old, like 63, I believe.
Well, pretty young. Yeah. Like, I remember when I was in about college, my grandmother passed away. She was 62. And I was talking to a teacher of mine, and he could see that I was upset about this, and he said, "Oh, well, that's too bad." He goes, "How old was she?" And I said, She was 62. And he kind of clutched his heart, and he goes, "Oh, that's way too young."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, what makes you say that?" And he goes, "I'm 62." So, it's definitely way too young. And especially for an artist, I think, a lot of them can do their best work in their 70s and 80s.
Yep, we got some artists doing their work in their 70s here in the indie space with Mike Barron's artist as well. He's in his 70s and he's doing some of his best work, some Western style stuff.
Well, and I think of Hokusai, the Japanese painter and illustrator who did The Great Wave, that famous painting. He did that in his 70s, and that's his masterpiece. And it's the same with Monet. A lot of his most famous paintings were done in his in his twilight years. So you hope artists get a long life, because it ain't basketball.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
But anyways, going back to my biography a little bit.
Yes, please.
So I ended up working in the Bay Area as a police sketch and forensic artist, and did that for about 12 years. And the San Francisco Bay Area is a high crime area, so I got to work pretty much every type of case imaginable. And then we moved to Utah about 7 years ago, and I've been an art teacher during that time, but still, having that comic book itch. And the whole time I've been doing other work, I've been, adding to my sketchbook stories and ideas and characters. And well, about 4 years ago, I had something really serious. It's called a cranial hernia.
Oh.
And if you know what a hernia is, it's when...
Not fun.
Yeah. Well, it's when something's trying to push its way out of your stomach wall lining. But with the cranial hernia, your brain is trying to push its way out of your skull. And so when I got my CT scan, they were like, "Yeah, you've got, your skull kind of looks like Swiss cheese because it's been getting beat up by your brain." And at one point, my ear was leaking cerebral spinal fluid.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
And, I had to have a couple of big surgeries to get that situated. Luckily, University of Utah is, one of the top 20 hospitals in the States, and they took care of it. But
with you being a comic book guy, I would expect if your brain gets bigger that you should develop telekinesis.
No.
well, I didn't say I didn't, but
I knew it.
But it really just spotlighted for me. I'm not going to live forever, and I have all these characters and ideas that I don't want to take to the grave. And so I kind of got on the make comics or die bandwagon.
Yeah, welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the party. I'm about to publish my first self-made comic right before the age of 50. So, it's a bit late, but here I am.
Yeah, well, there are pluses and minuses to being a late bloomer. And, like for me, I feel like a lot of these stories and concepts that I have are evolved a lot. And it's allowed me to get better and better as a writer and just keep improving what I'm putting out there so that, the story is really ready to go to the public. And that's kind of been the upside of it.
I can vouch for that. You've given me a sampler before the show, and I was reading it, and I read half of it like through the colored portions, and you've got a good grasp of storytelling and I'm not just glazing, like I never say things I don't believe in. So these are all my sincere reflections as I was reading it. You've got a good grasp of how to open a book. The characters you feel them and they're well defined, and you've got natural conflicts kind of occurring. I'm going to repeat myself here, naturally within the story. And I really enjoyed that. It's a fun read. And so are you doing the art in this, or are you the writer? What's your role exactly?
Right. So for Three Brothers Gruff, I am only the writer.
Okay.
And what's nice about that is I really get to say wonderful things about Vincenzo, who's the artist on this. And he's out of Italy. Vincenzo.
I knew it. He has that European flair to it. I was like, this is like Bond, and I'm French Canadian, so I grew up on French bande dessinée, right? So I was like, oh, this guy's got some European blood. I can tell.
Well, and the fantasy comics are a lot bigger in Europe. It's one of the main genres that people read over there. Probably bigger than superheroes.
Oh yeah,
and,
for sure.
Definitely.
Vincenzo was he read the whole script because I have the whole comic script written for all 5 issues. Like the whole graphic novel is fleshed out, and he just loved the story so much that he wanted to work on it, and every time he turned in pages, I was like, man, I have no notes. Like you hit this out of the park. It looks better than how I imagined it or how I would have drawn it myself. And, that's just been really kind of amazing to see that he reads the script and he's as excited about the story as I am. And to see that coming through in the art, it's just been really gratifying.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. And I think this is a good time to start with one of the trailers because John has 3 trailers for us tonight. We've got 18 people watching right now. So let's start with, I think you said the black and white one was a good one to start. I'm trying to figure out which. Okay, this one's got color in it. I'm just scrolling through it real quick. This one's got color. You see the book. And I think it's the first one here. It says, yes. Okay, let's start with the black and white one to start with. And so John's looking for feedback, folks, or if you're watching, you're in the chat, let us know. Oh, Maji's there. How you doing, Maji? Let us know which of the 3 trailers do you like more. I'm going to give John some feedback tonight, and I'm going to drop the link to the campaign before I get to that first, just to make sure it's there for people to check out. You're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to look through it because the art is so freaking fantastic. And I've read half of it so far, and it's a really strong opening. Feels natural, and I'm going to pick this one up. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's watch that first trailer. Three Brothers Gruff, first character. Let me just share that. Here we go. All right. There we go.
Satyrs and sailors. That there's no way this can't go big, you know.
Yeah, thank you. So
You didn't have to
Yeah,
write any sea shanties for it, did you?
write any what?
Sea shanties.
No. Well, they're not sea shanties. There is some song for sure. There is a little bit of song in the first issue.
Oh, it just sounds like an awesome combination, though.
Well, the Three Billy Goats Gruff was one of my favorite stories as a kid, and it probably because it was one of the ones that had a lot of action in it, and it was one that I would enjoy reading to my kids as they were growing up. And I just thought one day, I'd like to reimagine this as something else. And I thought, what if they weren't goats? What if they were satyrs? And what if they were troll hunters and troll hunters for hire? And what if that was the true story of the Billy Goats Gruff? And then you start writing something and doing some world building, and then it just kind of evolved into this story, and just started to to really get excited about seeing it come to life. And it's been really, really gratifying and really nice that, like I said, like Shinzo got so excited about it and thought it was a great idea and great story. And then to see the backers coming on board is, just kind of another validation that, this is a fun idea and people like it. And that's been really great to see.
Yeah, everyone's been talking about it. I think it's unanimous. The art's beautiful. I tell the story's good. I want to help you get on other people's shows as well. I know tomorrow you're going to be on Indie Comic Shop.
Oh yeah,
Chris and I are also co-hosts on there.
Yep.
So we'll be seeing you again tomorrow.
Round 2.
But we got to get you as well on Katie's show. Katie has a bigger platform than us, and she's really good at helping people kick off their campaigns.
Oh yeah,
it'd be really good to put you in touch with her. She just is so helpful to everybody. She got my campaign kicked off the floor as well and got it started late last year. So I'm very grateful to her for that. So we'll put you in contact for that for sure, with her for that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
No, for sure, man. For sure. We've got to get the word out. We want to see this succeed because we want more of it. We want to see all 5 issues. And this brings me to a question, because a lot of the comics that we see of people who are bringing their own stories to life, a lot of them come from their youth. Like Todd McFarlane, we were talking about, when the people from Image came around and started doing their own IPs, a lot of it was their childhood creations that they kind of put together in a matured way. Like Spawn, something he created when he was younger, but he gave it a new twist with his, all he'd learned by working at Marvel. So is this story and is the other story that you had, both stories that you were working with when you were younger, or are they kind of like late blooming stories, like recent stuff that come to mind?
Well, the first rule of improv is always say yes to whatever someone says. I'm going to break that rule because no, it's not.
It's okay.
But
it's fine.
Yeah, this I probably did a couple years ago. Same thing. Well, I'll put a twist on it. Okay. Now, my ideas from when I was a kid were pretty dumb and generic. Okay. I remember I had a superhero who I had, designed, and it was basically just a variation on the Flash, but he was called the Blur. And
That's actually kind of cool.
I thought that was clever. Or I had one. I did a comic strip that was basically Garfield, but instead of a cat, he talked to I'm losing the words right now, a houseplant. But his houseplant was a Venus flytrap. And so
me, Simo.
it was, and he would discuss his dating life and get dating advice from his Venus flytrap, because the flytrap was
love that.
female.
Oh,
And so those are ideas I had as a kid. But speaking of kids, this came about, for me, the story to my kids. And actually, Paul Bunyan versus Dracula, that one came about when I was
I gotta pull this one up because
9-year-old.
I love the cover so much.
yeah.
Keep talking. I'm going to pull this up.
Okay. I was with my 9-year-old at the time, and we were watching a documentary about horror movie monsters. And it was going through all of the classic characters, and it was like talking about Dracula, Frankenstein, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and King Kong, and so on and so on, the Invisible Man. And at one point I was like, "Hey, Jack, isn't this, are these pretty cool? What do you think?" And he turned to me and he's like, "Yeah, I guess." He goes, "But I don't think any of these guys could beat Paul Bunyan." and I was like, "Yeah, well, that's a good point." And I thought, someone has to have already done a comic book about that. And
No, but I did ask Grok one time if Paul Bunyan could take out all the giants from Attack on Titan.
And the answer?
Yes.
Okay. But once I saw that nobody had done this, I was like, "Oh, well, I guess that's my job then." Because as I started thinking about it more, the story started coming to life and evolving more and more, and thinking about, well, this could be, a love story and an action story and a horror story, and and have some really good twists in it. And one of the first things I decided was I needed to just exactly how big Paul Bunyan was going to be. Because, if you look at all the legends and all the stories, he's anywhere from, 100 to 800 to 1,000 feet tall. Because there's a story about him dragging his axe behind him one time and carving out the Grand Canyon. Well, I didn't think he could be that big. Otherwise, this would be another Godzilla versus Bambi situation. But I liked the size of the giants on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, if he's about the size of a Game of Thrones giant, about 16, 18 feet tall, it's a pretty good fight. And, it's kind of brains versus brawn, or brawn versus magic type of event. And
did you do the art? Did you do the art on that book?
On that book, I did the layouts and I did the cover.
Okay.
And some of the inking. So kind of in and out there. I think I'd like to do more drawing on one of the comics eventually, but right now I'm still teaching full time, and I coach basketball, and I've got 4 kids, and so I kind of have to pick where I can do my input. But yeah, that was as we talked about. There's the cover again.
Yeah, classic.
Did decide
Todd
to
McFarlane, homage from Batman.
Homage, yeah, and I probably gave him credit a little too big, but I guess it's a pet peeve of mine when someone, does an homage and then doesn't say after after who. So I wanted to make sure that was plenty noticeable. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Batman 423, which people have pointed out there are a couple of mistakes in that cover, in the coloring on the Batman issue. But to me, one of the biggest mistakes about that cover was always you have Batman standing in front of the sun. And even as a kid, I was like, why isn't that the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And McFarlane always drew such great moons. And so I made sure that my cover was Dracula with the moon behind him.
Yeah, here it is, the Batman cover, as you can see. And I remember Todd telling the story of this cover too. Like, it was like a cover he got last minute, and he had just like the end of the day to do it, and it had to be, gone in the morning with the post, right? Because they were sending that stuff FedEx at the time. And it was one of the covers he drew the fastest. Like, he was just throwing lines around and he's like, well, if I hide the woman with the cape, I won't have to draw much of her at all, which is totally Todd's reasoning. And he totally talks like this too, like very humble about his approach. And it was something that he was able to do, but really quickly. But that doesn't take away from how cool it was, because it made its way to being one of the top covers of all time. So that goes to show you that doesn't matter how much time you put into something, you can knock it out the park in a quick sketch, as much as something that you take your time with. So,
well, it helps a lot to be a great artist to begin with, but I think it does kind of capture some frantic energy that then comes out in the drawing. I've also heard stories about Frank Frazetta doing a painting at the last day, or having 24 hours notice to turn something. And those are some of his most famous pieces.
Yeah. You don't have time to second guess yourself.
Yeah. Well, and that's like you said, that's one of Todd's most iconic covers. So
yeah.
So the rush job didn't hurt him a bit.
Not at all.
Yeah, that the Paul Bunyan versus Dracula #1, that's also still available on funcomic.com. I had some copies made for Comic Cons and stuff. I think I have about 17 left. So if somebody wanted to order one of those, they'd probably get it in a few days. Already printed.
Right, because it's a storefront. Let me drop the link for this one as well, because it's a storefront, folks. You can get it. There we go. Yeah, definitely worth it. And so this is #1. You've got other stories written for this one as well?
Yeah, I'm inking issue #2.
Nice.
And we're about 60 to 70% done issue #2. Issue #1 is 52 pages. So
that's a good size graphic novel.
Yeah, it's a pretty thick comic, and a lot of story and character development for those 52 pages.
So I would guess that the end doesn't happen in issue #1 if there's an issue #2. So the Paul Bunyan and Dracula have not settled.
Right.
Both of them are still alive.
It's a little bit of a love story. It's a little bit of an action story. It's a horror story. And so you kind of, you get all of that. I think when it's all said and done, it's probably going to be close to 200 pages.
Ooh, yeah,
and,
that's pretty good.
The fun thing about that has been when I'm at a convention, and I've just done a couple of local things and some signings there, but meeting people that are seriously angry and upset with me because of how the cliffhanger that 2-1 ended on. And they were like, I was reading, and just flipping the pages, and and it was like, it was a thick book, so I thought it was going to have the ending in it. And they were like, and I realized at a certain point, no, that was the last page. And they were like, how could you end it like that? And I was like, well, is this your first time reading a comic? Because cliffhangers are kind of a trope.
Yeah. But, I mean, comic fans being angry at the creator, that never happens.
Well, I was happy with it.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good, man. That's what counts. Yeah, we want these to drag out. Like, we want more stuff to read as well, I think. I mean, some people do like to have the ending in the same story, but like you say, like most comics, most stories, they go on for a little bit because you don't have, like, 50 pages is not a whole lot to happen in a comic. Like, I just finished a 24-page one, and that's barely a blink of an eye. Like, you have an intro and a fight, and that's 24 pages. It goes by really, really quick when you're, visual storytelling.
Yeah, it's been interesting, and the way I write too, a lot of the pages are 6 to 7 panels per page, and a couple of them are 9 panel pages. And it's I've, as a customer, I felt like I get robbed if I buy the latest Marvel book or whatever, and there's like 2 to 3 panels per page.
Yeah.
And, and I'm done reading it in 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh wow, that was $5 and 2 minutes. Like, that's that's more than $1 a minute. Like. So that's it's a consideration of mine, and I in the case of Vincenzo, I know I had like a lot of 7-panel pages in Three Brothers Gruff, and somehow he found a way to just make it look really dynamic and keep the action flowing, even with a lot of panels on the page. So it can be done. They just need to. I feel like put a little more beef in Marvel Comics nowadays, because they're kind of it's like the comics just getting warmed up and then it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, so true. I mean, the European bande dessinée is minimum 48 pages, usually. That's a small one. Then you have anywhere from that to 72 is usually an album that will come out within a year. You have those kinds of pages. And I'm finding that the indie space has a tendency to gravitate to more of the European kind of page count. They take about the same time. It takes around a year or something to get a book done from start to finish with everyone involved and all that. So it's good to see that going that way too. It's more full stories, a little bit. So it's gravitating. It's no longer the monthly sequentials of just throwing stuff out as quickly as possible. I think, especially with the.
And I think, all of us would be happy to buy monthly floppies, but you just got to give me a little something, like at least let it take 10, 15 minutes to read. Like I think a lot of people used to complain about all the word balloons that Chris Claremont would put in Uncanny X-Men back in the day.
Yes.
Because they just go on and on, but at least you felt like you had read something when you were done. And so there's 2 sides to that coin. But with what Vincenzo was doing, it was just kind of amazing to see, because he was really excited about the idea of doing an American style action comic book, and his background with the Italian comic books that he'd been working on. It was mostly historical, and in Europe they have, they have a lot of rules around their comic books depending on which genre it's in. And so he had to draw things kind of flat and kind of like old DC Comics. They had rules that you couldn't break the panel border, and you couldn't do anything that was too much coming at the viewer. He had to work under a lot of those rules, and so when he got to work on Three Brothers Gruff, he was just so excited, and he was telling me how he's breaking the rules and he's making this look as dynamic and exciting as possible. And again, just seeing that kind of like the McFarlane thing where, he had no deadline, like Vincenzo, the energy that you see on the page is just, it's very visible and noticeable.
Yeah, dude, it's like I always say, the Europeans draw the best horses. They're classically trained. They have that very classical, they know all the right anatomy, they do the proportions, all that. But then again, you're bringing a side to it that's interesting because it's also limiting because they're so traditional. They're bande dessinée, their strips are flat. They don't do anchor panels, like big characters just standing on the side of the page with the panels on the side, breaking panel borders, as you say, coming towards the reader, all that. And I grew up with bande dessinée, so I love that side of the creative comic scope as well. But damn, the Americans have something that the others don't. It's the excitement, the breaking of the rules, the trying to outdo each other and always pushing further, pushing the envelope. Something that the Europeans, they don't have that. They're a little bit too stuck up or something. Usually it's the other way around, We got a new co-host
Speaking of
here.
a little too stuck up.
He is not an agent of the CIA. He is a writer of comic books.
What does that mean, Wrangler?
We got our co-host Patrick Quinlan here. How you doing, PQ?
Hi.
Hey,
What's up, John? Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Same, Rick. Good to see you.
You
Patrick
too.
is the host of the Comicscape Commandos, another show I'm a co-host on. I'm a co-host on everything. I don't know if you know that.
Right.
I'm on all the shows, all the good ones anyways. But yeah, Patrick, welcome aboard, man. Patrick's also
Sorry I'm
a
late.
comic book writer. That's going to go on your permanent record, though. Yeah, 10
See?
marks and you're in trouble.
I was going to put it on your permanent record if you didn't put that for me being on my permanent.
I own the permanent
Good
record.
call.
You're going to have a meeting in the office next time.
Oh,
I'm telling you
no.
that.
uh-oh, we're gonna have to pip you.
Shades drawn.
Patrick is working on a very beautiful story that's set in North America. It's got is it the Wendigo it's called, or
Most
Wendigo.
people call it Wendigo, but it's just called the Wetiko.
Wetiko is the
That's
one
the way it's
version you're
normally
saying, yeah.
pronounced
Yeah.
in Algonquin.
And he's working with a British author as well. So you're both working with artists overseas, and very interesting results. Like, it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful work too. I think it's time for another trailer. We saw the first black and white trailer. Let's watch the second one, which is the #1 comic book trailer. Let me share this real quick, and then we can get back into some more questions and answers. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, nope, I already shared this one. The other one I want, the 16 Three Brothers Gruff issue, because they got similar names here. Let me just make sure I got the right one that I'm sharing here. Is this the one? No, I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur.
I'll be in my trailer.
Yeah. So this one, we're gonna be doing this all night. Okay, I'm gonna close this tab.
Should I say
You
it,
can
Patrick?
do it.
You can start throwing insults.
Stop making the man big, Frederick. Take him down.
I'm sharing something, Patrick. This is not your show. You don't get to call the shots.
Yeah, okay,
Here we
you're
go.
right.
That's right.
There
What's
we
up,
go.
Chris? Nice to see you too, man.
Yeah, I like this. I like this. I like it because you're showing the flip through of the comic, which is something we don't see usually.
Oh yeah.
Especially before the comic is printed. But because Chris, you have something similar. Chris has a Infinitale Chronicles. It's also a fantasy style story, and he's got this comic book reader on his website where you basically it's like a PDF, but you've got the animation of the pages that you're kind of turning through. So it's a nice kind of way to preview it. I like it. We're kind of comparing and contrasting 3 trailers tonight. So if you're in the chat, give us your impressions. What are your thoughts on each trailer and which do you prefer? We're giving John some good feedback tonight. And of course, go support his campaign. If you haven't supported this already, what are you doing? This is one of the best. This is the most underrated campaign right now that I've seen. The art is fantastic. The writing's good. I've read half of the book so far. I've gotten a preview because I'm special. That's right. And John was gracious enough to give me a small preview of the comic beforehand, and it reads so good, dude. It opens up and you dive into the story. The characters are well rounded, and you're thrown into the action straight from the get go. So I can definitely vouch for this one. You are going to enjoy it.
Thanks a lot. That's great. Appreciate that.
No, it's true, man. I don't say these things lightly, and I don't say things I don't believe. Ask Patrick. Patrick, do I blow smoke up people's asses?
Not up their ass.
We can't hear you, but I got a feeling that's a good thing. This is
There was that one time in Cancun you told me about.
I thought we were supposed to talk about that.
Oh, right.
Oops, we lost Patrick. It must be that storm. It's that storm. I think it missed you, Chris, and it's hitting Patrick instead. This is the last time Patrick is on this episode on the show. There we go. This is what I have to put up with, John. Never start your own show. This is what happens. You know, you think people are your friends, and then they stab you in the back. Someone throw a baguette at Frederick. Welcome, Bootlegger. Nice to see you. Chris, Bootlegger is the one that put us in contact, thankfully, because I've seen your... as soon as we saw your campaign, I wanted to get into contact with you on Twitter, but you were not taking DMs at the time. Can people get in touch with you on Twitter now? Or
I've edited that on my profile so that everything's open for DMs now.
Nice.
And that's probably
wanted to get
the
you
fastest
on
way to get in touch with me.
Awesome. We're going to get people getting in touch with you and getting you out there, man. We got to pimp that comic. I want to see it be successful. It's a beautifully drawn comic. It reads really, really well. I'm hooked on the story already. And it's a unique tale. You say it's an adaptation of a folk story, a children's story about the
the children's story, The Three Billy Goats Gruff, which, if you don't know, because it's not as famous as Goldilocks, I guess. But
was it one of Grimm's?
It's not a Grimm's tale. It's a Scandinavian folk story that's kind of been made into books, children's books, and the story is basically the three. I guess I'll tell it. the three billy goats are trying to get across the bridge to the other hill or other mountain, or there's lots of grass to eat. And under the bridge, there's this, mean, nasty troll. And the first of the three brothers comes across the bridge, and he's making the clip clop sound on the bridge from his hooves hitting. And the troll comes up and he says, "I'm going to eat you." And the little brother says, "Hey, don't eat me. You should wait for my big brother. He's going to be much tastier than I am." And so the troll says, "Okay, you can go across." And he waits for the brother. And then the second brother comes up, and the troll jumps on the bridge, and he says, here you are. Now I'm going to eat you." And the second brother says, "Don't eat me. You want to wait for my big brother. He's much bigger than me. He's going to make a much nicer meal for you." And so the troll lets the second goat go across to the other side with the grass. And the big brother comes up, and he says, "Here you are. Now I'm going to eat you." And the biggest goat says, "Well, you can go ahead and try." And he charges at the troll. He rams him and knocks the troll off the bridge, and he dies. And so that was kind of the basic inspiration for it. That, and I think Todd McFarlane's Twisted Fairy Tales, that toy line that he had for a while, where he kind of had these bizarre, twisted versions of Little Red Riding Hood and everything else. He might have done the Three Bears, but so I thought, maybe I can do something with this. And it has kind of, through writing the book, it's kind of evolved into this bigger story where, I now have 12 different tribes of types of creatures. And so there's there's the menfolk, there's dwarves, there's elves, there's gnomes, satyrs, centaurs, fairies, etc., etc., etc. And it's kind of Chronicles of Narnia meets Conan the Barbarian is a way that we've described it. And it's all of that with a little bit of Treasure of the Sierra Madre mixed in. So if you're a Bogart fan, there's going to be some things in the story that you might notice or remember. You'll have to be paying extra special attention to catch that, but it comes through in, I think, a lot of the themes and in some of the character development. And so that's basically the bones of the story.
That's dope. Let's dive right into the campaign now. I think it's a good time. We got 46 people watching, a lot of people from the space. They need to see this. This is a really cool campaign, and I'm glad we're finally looking at it here.
Sorry. I was giggling not at your pitch, but at Art Hita in the chat. So I apologize for that.
You fucked up, Chris.
Welcome, Art. All right. So got another. This is probably the third trailer. We got 13 backers, folks. This is underrated. Support this today. You got 31 days to go. We're so close. It's $700 goal. We could get it to $700 tonight. Come on, everybody. Get on this. This is an incredible book.
This deserves a lot more attention and backing than it's getting. Like,
look at this.
It's an amazing
Thank you
book,
very
guys.
much.
We got an Italian who has been unleashed, and he's no
Absolutely.
longer limited by the stupid rules of the stupid Europeans. And I can say this because I'm French Canadian. It's okay. I got a French pass here. And
Machismo.
he's like completely unleashed, and he's going wild, and he got his good grounded drawing skills, but he's going full American. You got a double, what do you call these, wraparound cover as well. And you can get variant covers. You got the blank sketch cover. And this is some sample of the art here. This is
Look at that.
I'm definitely digging this art style.
Yeah, it's like a painting. This isn't your typical, like. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. We're all talking.
If you
over
don't
each
mind,
other
Frederick,
here.
I'm going to expand the screen a little bit there.
Yeah,
Here we go.
please do. You're definitely
Inner choke.
That's right. Teamwork. Makes the dream work. And is the artist the same one doing the colors, or do you have a separate colorist for that, John?
Yeah, the colorist is Febri Ferdian, and he's out of Indonesia, and he was kind of. We looked at a couple different colorists, but I let Vincenzo pick the colorist because we really wanted to make sure that. Well, sometimes you get colorists who kind of over color, and they make things too saturated or too bright, and we really wanted to showcase his line work as much as possible because he just does such a terrific job that it would be a shame to lose any of it in the colors. And so it's kind of a little more tilted towards an old school type coloring style, so that you can see the work that the pencils and ink put in.
And is the letterer doing the onomatopoeia, or is the artist putting those inside the book?
Yeah, that's all Vincenzo. So that was kind of a fun thing, was seeing the sound effects in the pencils.
Yeah,
and
that's
even
totally
the word-
European, right? That's so
No,
European.
dude, there's a one panel in here where they really leverage the onomatopoeia. It's literally the different panels. Like it spells out a word. It looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, that'll come up in a second. Yeah.
Yeah,
There it
the
is.
action is very dynamic and it's clear. Where is it? Did I miss something?
Down
Just go
bottom.
down a little bit.
Yep. Right there.
Oh
Boom.
yeah. These are like panel
I love
board.
that.
Yeah, where the panels are actually the onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I love also the foreshortening in that panel. He was so excited about it.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's,
Falcon punch.
Yeah, he would probably be arrested over there in Europe if he did that. So, folks, this is a unique combination. Love to see it. Here he is, Vincenzo Mercogliani, doing some fumetti, American fumetti. Awesome, man. Awesome. And how did you find him? Like, did you use your contacts in the police to track him down, or how did that happen?
Yeah, I should have. I just ran into him on Facebook, and he was sharing some artwork on one of the forums there, and I was complimenting him. You kind of mentioned or hinted at it earlier, how well he draws horses, because through doing parts of Paul Bunyan versus Dracula, I was learning how to draw horses, and it was really just a chore for me. I still can't do it without reference.
Yeah, no American can draw a horse. That's a very well-known fact.
Well, except for John Buscema.
Yes, there's a few, but I'm thinking they got blood infusions or something.
Yeah, well, Buscema's an Italian name, so he can't help it, right? But I contacted Vincenzo, and I told him I have this book that I think you might be perfect for, and would you mind if I sent you the script? And lucky for me, he read the whole thing and he fell in love with it before we started talking prices. And so he kind of gave me a discount on what he normally charges because he just really liked the story that much.
Yeah.
And so that was a lucky break for me.
Yeah, that'll help, man. Like, because you put a lot of time, man. You dedicate as an artist. I mean, you're putting like a year of your life into something. So, sure, money is driving factor, of course, but you want to be spending that year doing something that you're thrilled about getting up in the morning. You know what I mean? It's something you're going to be putting your energy and your love into it every day, and it's going to stick with you. This is part of your legacy that you're building. So it's really important to fall in love with what you're going to be working on. So I'm happy to hear that, man. We've got a ton of people in the chat. I haven't had time to say hello to everybody. We've got Will Studio. Nice to see you, man. He says, hail Patty Q. Yeah, Patrick won't be coming back on the show anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna die tomorrow. So
Art Haida here. Just back Art Haida back. Thank you, sir. Thank you
hell
so
yeah.
much. Yeah, we got some backers coming in. That's right. This is going to be one of the best books of the year. I can feel it. I can feel it. So keep them coming, folks. Happy to hear that, man. And we got a third trailer here as well. Let me just close this one first because I can't freaking open a page without reopening the same one. And let's have a look at
what's this
one.
resume piece for?
Well, so okay, let me just answer this real quick. So I do art. I do like an art stream, and then I didn't have anything to draw, so I just started drawing.
Oh,
Same thing what I did with this like 2 weeks ago. This is
Oh,
my Medusa.
why don't you choose one of my characters so I can get some work for free? I mean,
That's right.
doesn't seem fair.
Wow.
You always do your characters, Frederick. Come on.
Yeah, I will. I will. Okay, listen. I'll promise you this, Patrick. Next time you're on, I'll do one of your characters. Unfortunately,
You make me
you're,
proud, Patrick.
you're banned from the show, so that's not going to happen.
Right. That's right.
Oh, that's the art of the deal. It's one of the rules of acquisition.
All right. Let's watch the other trailer here. Am I gonna fuck things up? Of course, I'm gonna fuck things up again.
He finished it. Whoa, what was the?
Of course,
Check this man's browser history.
it's okay. I'm not that type of freak.
The door gets kicked in.
Okay, this is it.
FBI, open up.
There we go.
Oh man.
Well, it's Canada, so if I say anything besides like our government is the best government in the world and it has done nothing wrong and killing old people is the way to go, as long as I say those things, we're good. So here we go.
In the time when the bridges spanned forgotten rivers and the rise of petty kings in shadowed halls, there was an age undreamed of. And unto this age came three brothers, the Gruff, mighty satyrs, troll hunters renowned across the wilds, destined to face the foulest beasts and unravel treachery in gilded courts. It is I, their chronicler, who alone can tell thee of their saga. Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Love it.
I'm a wizard, mind you.
Love it. I would like if I had one comment, John, was probably maybe drag the trailers out a little bit. Some people's trailers are too long. That's not the case with yours. You could probably drag them out a little bit longer. I think you got
Edging
some
them.
good art there. Yeah. I don't know what, if you guys have any feedback, John's looking a little bit from a little bit of feedback from his trailers, so feel free to chime in. Haida says Patrick's browser history is mean Russian chicks, but what do Frenchy Canadians look at? Well, we look at underarms that are not shaved, obviously. What do you think, Art Haida? We also look at Russian chicks. Everyone looks at Russian chicks. They're so beautiful. I'm drawing one right now.
That they are.
That's true. That's
Especially the ones I've been talking to on Twitter now.
Oh shit! I've seen Birthday Girl. I know what that movie's about.
Careful, they're not all women on the internet, Patrick.
What?
That's
Well,
ma'am.
You saying people would lie about who they are on the internet?
No, of course not. I'm just
You
kidding.
know, I
obviously.
wouldn't lie, Patrick.
All right, I'm dropping the link. Scribe, are you talking about the link of to the show? Okay, let me drop Scribe. He's a commando.
Oof, there goes the neighborhood.
Listen, you got to leave sometime, so we need another commando to fill in. Patrick.
True.
You can't commit to doing a full show because you have to go in the iron seas. It's like,
I'm sorry.
you know, Like, this is not the better show. Seriously, come on.
I have
go,
no
Scott.
comment. I'm not going to shit on them right before I go on this
exactly.
show.
You're like, hey, I was
Trying
just
to make me
watching
do.
Proof of Comics.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing here? I was just
You guys
watching.
woke up there to come here.
No, we love Kahuna. We love them over there. They got a great show. Which movie are you guys covering tonight, by the way? Because you always cover a movie on that show, right?
We're going to be talking about Stalker by Tarkovsky.
Oh, that was your choice?
Yeah.
Roadside Picnic, I believe, is what the movie's called, and the book as well.
No, the movie's called Stalker, but
Is it Stalker?
it is based off of Roadside Picnic. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. We got Scribe here, so we no longer need Patrick. Patrick, you
Get
can
the hell
go.
out of here, Patrick. You're gone. Be gone.
Back to the garage, Bobby.
Audacity. Fine. I didn't want to be here anyway.
No, stay,
John,
stay,
nice to
stay.
meet you,
You
John.
stay.
If
You
can follow me
stay.
back.
What'd I just say?
Okay,
John,
okay. Let Patrick
follow me
talk.
back
This
on
is the
X
last
and
time
we'll-
he's going to be talking on this stream. So
John, see,
You got it.
more respect on my show. Follow me back on Twitter, and we'll comment and see if we can get you on the Commandos before your campaign ends.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I'd love to do it.
Your book looks great, man. It's good
Hold
to
on,
see it.
wait. Where are you going?
I got to go on a different show.
What? Whose show? Whose show?
You know what? I'm not. It's none of your business. Huh? How about that?
No, this show. You stay here.
No.
It's Commandos here. You stay
Is there any
here.
other shows we should know about?
Yeah.
This show's about John, okay? Focus on John. I'm going. Get out of here. Bye. See ya.
See what happens?
I know.
You know what?
People.
You know, we got to talk to him on Saturday.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have a talk with them as well.
We're gonna sit him down. John, I'm sorry. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise.
We need to talk to Patrick Saturday. A little, on the side. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we can take him to the room out back and have a good long talk with him.
And Scribe, I'm sorry, I did not mean to hit your comment. I just accidentally double clicked on the wrong spot.
No, I don't care. No, I love you.
I hit undo, but it's not showing back up.
What's up, John? How you doing, man? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. It's great to be here.
Great book.
Yeah.
Great book.
So on the second half of the show, what we do is we have a comic review from our friend James here. James, are you
Hey-ho.
ready with the book cam? Are you all set up?
I am all set up, baby.
All
Yeah,
right.
There we go. Yeah.
So
Get the trailer or the
yeah. So regular, do you want to hit the trailer or do I?
If you already got it called up, I'm still looking for it in this massive clips.
Yeah, we have too
here
many clips.
somewhere.
Oh, I got it. Okay, here we go. This is the Negative Zone, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's missing from this page? The negative space. We read it, we shred it, we tell you the truth. Negative space. Comic reviews.
Of course, I fucked up and called it the Negative Zone.
Negative
It's
Zone.
the
How
Negative
dare you?
Space.
How dare you?
Spiral zone.
It's my I'm on brand, okay? This is a shtick. I don't
Danny's
actually fuck
PSLs.
things up. This is on purpose. Okay? This is all done on
Welcome
purpose.
to one of the few shows within a show where we review comics. We comment on them together. I've read this previously. I'm gonna give an intro. John, I'm gonna pick up your comic, and one day it's gonna end up right here at the top of the month because I see you got 30 days till your campaign's done. So I'm gonna pick one up at the top of the month, and we'll have it here one day, which you may or may not like because I can be quite brutal. I come at this strictly from a consumer perspective. All right, I'm just a consumer. I'm a guy getting into comics. I'm a short story writer, so I like writing. I'm very much more critical on the writing than I am the art. I don't have that eye. I just buy them, but these are my comics. I do hunt them down. I do like to consume them and read them. And today we're going to check out Red Fork by Alex, something I can't pronounce, Neil, something else I cannot pronounce, and something I can't pronounce all the way across. But these three guys came out with a pretty interesting comic that I actually like. This is being produced by TKO Studios. They produced, or I should say produced, because I've been following them for a little while, and they have not come out with anything, and their website hasn't been updated. Still, they have a winter sale where you can get a buy one, get one free on their website, TKO Comics, which they do have. They boast to produce premium comics, and their whole shtick was they produce the entire series at once and sell it as a singular volume or or floppies. I got the floppies. This is what it comes in. This was brand new when it arrived, though I had to purchase it on the second retailers. On the third party market, because they no longer sell the floppies individually. Luckily, they don't go for that much. They are packaged inside this lovely box, which I really like, and they are actually bigger than your average comic book. Let me go ahead and just pull out a comic book. I'm surrounded by them, so just give me a quick sec. Put a box up here full of comics.
Don't let those comics fall over you, James.
I have boxes on top of boxes of Amazon boxes like these full of comics, just repurchasing them. So here
we have to introduce you to long boxes at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, but they cost money, and these just come with the comics, so I just reuse them. So here is an average size comic in comparison, right here, what we're dealing with, and this doesn't fit fully in frame. You're not seeing the top of this box right here. Let me put it sideways. Maybe we'll get a better understanding here of what we're dealing with box-wise, comic-wise. So they have a lot of page to work with here, and I really enjoy this because the art sticks out so much. Let's open up this box here, see what we're getting. All right, it comes out just like that.
Wait, it's a double box.
Oh, it's double box. It slides right out. It slides right out, and I love it. And one thing that I love about these actually being boxed, because I've ordered dozens of comics, you're always going to get crease damage on the sides. You're going to get just a lot of delivery damage because of how how gentle these ultimately
I can already see this one's going to get good points for the gore.
Got the viscera, yeah.
It does got visceral nature, but that's not even the best of it. Let's see. This is issue 4 right here. I hope they're not out of line, but we're going to take a look at all the issues right here. This is the cover for issue 4. I usually try to put them like this, but they're barely fitting up here. But most of the art is on the bottom half, which is good. This is issue number 4 right here. Put this aside. I'm going to have to get this in order. This lovely box right here.
That's a cool box.
It's a very cool box. I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yes, this is issue number 3.
Oh, what?
It very much, this story takes place in America. It feels like it. It feels like it was written from somebody who understands. It takes place in a coal town. And one thing that I love about it is it doesn't feel like it's here to criticize the people who live there, talk about how nasty coal is, how racist these white people in middle America are.
White people.
It doesn't have any of that in it, which I really enjoy. So let's go ahead and pull out issue number 1. That's issue number 3. Try to keep these in order. This is what issue number 1 looks like right off the back. Red Fork, got a little splatter of blood. This is the first one I seen. It stuck out to me because it kind of tells you a lot here. You got this big shadow looming of something industrial and just the stain of blood right there of this gore.
Oh, that's
this
cool.
animal that is gored. And once again, you've heard me talk about gore on this channel. I talk about lazy gore. This is some good gore. What's good about gore is if you examine it, you can see which portions of the animal you're looking at. That's really good. It's not just a stain or a splatter or something like that a lot of them do, where it's just like
James was a butcher in a previous life. Oh, we got Katie did in the chat. Katie, let me introduce you to John real quick. Sorry, James.
Go ahead.
John has got one of the best underrated comics right now. The link is in the chat. Go check it out. We're trying to fund him tonight, but I want to introduce him to other people. And Katie's got a really popular channel, especially in the mornings. So I just wanted you two to kind of meet each other. I'll be going on Katie's CG After Dark after this one. So check us out there and then. But we're going to be, promoting this book all week long. Go on, James. Sorry.
This is issue number 2. Now, one thing I'm going to get into is it is a little slow burn at first, but the writing is actually stupendous. Now, I've talked about writing before. you can't easily compare writings depending on genre. As before, I've criticized writing a lot. I felt like the writing felt slightly out of its genre or sort of didn't add anything great to it. But this one really gave me a sense that the people who wrote this, the people who drew this, had an appreciation for this place in America. And we're going to get into that. Let's go ahead and show off issue number 5 here, which.
And they may not be Americans, right? They've got
Yeah.
like strange, so they may be. I guess it's hard to tell just by a name, you know.
Sometimes,
What kind of
because-
Americans are you?
Yeah.
Well, you know that. What does it mean to be an American, depending on where you're from and where you're brought up? You know.
When did this come out, by the way?
This one, I believe, was it 2013? I have to take a second look at it. I'm sure it probably tells.
I
us
never heard of it. It looks
interior.
cool, man.
Well, TKO, that's the thing. TKO, I believe they didn't really last too long or lasting too long because they didn't sell a lot of comics. And for the most part, I love this, but there are some issues that I've noticed about this that I'm going to get into towards the end of the review because we've been taking a look at it, sort of subtly talking about what I like, what I don't like, but we're going to bust these open and we're going to take a look at some of the art. First off, one thing that I love about this one is it does the one thing that I like, and that it has the matted pages instead of glossy pages. I generally enjoy matted pages. This is a very hardcore story. It's about coal miners. It's about drug use. It's about people living in middle America who suffer. One thing that I say right off the back that I didn't notice till halfway through is a majority, if not all, the cast is white, and it never comes up as an issue, which is something I don't want to say, but in today's day and age, it's something that is. It's every other form of media. Oh, it's a white person, we got to say this. It's a black person, we got to say that. We got to bring up certain issues. No, this is all about life issues of these particular individuals here and how this curse in this land sort of comes to life and feeds off of their pain. We're introduced to the titular hero right off the back. I forgot the gentleman's name because it's been about a week since I've read this and I've been digging into the in-cow, and that one's smoking crack crazy. We're going to get into in a week or two, the in-cow.
Yeah, Scribe is a big fan of the Incal as well. Scribe, you should come on that show when we do the Incal review. That'd be nice.
Yes, please.
Yes, I'm 40 pages in. This one, going back to just the large pages we got going on here. Look how big these panels are. Let me put my hand next to
What
these
size
panels.
is that? Is that magazine?
It feels, it's not magazine. It's a slightly smaller. I think it's as tall as magazine, but the width is slightly smaller than magazine. But there's so much detail in these art, in this art, that like every aspect of it. I just look at every panel and it's nice and huge. Put my hand next to this small panel. Get this idea of. Yeah, so you can just see the detail in all of this bleed out.
How do we know you just don't have tiny hands, James?
I am a big guy. You know I don't got tiny
Really huge. Really huge.
Bring this baby.
It's
out.
really huge, everybody. Oh, okay.
Now you,
Well,
there you go.
I think I'm-
Usual to a basic
Okay,
comic book
yeah.
size.
You have small
Right there.
hands. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love the panels. I love the coloring, the writing. Automatically, you get the accent of these characters and kind of where they're from in America, because they're not just written with your basic modern day Midwestern flair, but they got that sort of middle America twang with the words they say and how they carry themselves and how it portrays the people. Oh, they're white, but they're poor and they're suffering. And this opens up directly with a kill. Somebody's dying. And we get it right off the back that this is more than just a story about gore, but it's literally a story about a family. One brother here, while committing a crime, killed this man, and the other brother is about to take the fall for it and spend the next couple years in prison. And the story picks up with him getting out of prison and being treated like shit by everyone he knows because his brother didn't tell anybody the truth of what he did. And here he is coming out of, and this is what I like. This is the kind of comics that I want to see more of. And it's this life. The book is about a curse, but right now I'm getting engrafted into this family these people, these crimes some commit and others take the fall for. And I'm engrafted by the people first, all the way through. And once again, I don't have any real complaints about the art personally. It's just all beautiful to me.
Looks
Maybe
good.
yes, the writing's also good.
Yeah,
I
very
could
nice.
probably use a little less word bubbles. I'll say that. It starts to get a little full of word bubbles, but for this type of story, it's very emotionally led. So a lot of the graphic stuff doesn't really come till later. So it feels like a piece of a Stephen King novel in Middle America coming to life without a lot of the Stephen King prejudicisms and weirdness sort of coming at you right off the back. And
Nice.
yes, at
Great
this
panels.
at this point we're just being introduced to people in America. Like, this is a slow burn. This issue is a slow burn. We actually don't start to get anything supernatural towards the end, when we start to find out that there's a strike going on at the mine. Everybody's working for the company that runs it seems to be leaving town, but his brother, who really did the crime, is underground, and an accident occurs while he's in town, sort of getting to know people. Let me also talk about the paneling, because
That's cool. On the left, that panel layout. of the
Yes.
car. That is awesome.
I enjoy that. You see it
Very
going
cool.
through town, and you see
Mhm.
people on the side giving
Look at
you
the
all
car,
this-
how that's drawn. Every car, it's different, but it's the same car. So he
Mhm.
drew it.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Exactly.
It wasn't a copy paste, yeah.
Yeah.
And the paneling is simple. It doesn't
Yes.
really do anything crazy, but the story is a slow burn, so it actually helps it a lot. Like,
Mm.
I usually complain some are boring paneling and it drags down the story, but the basic paneling in the Middle America story has a very rustic vibe to it that just matches this setting in a way that just lifts it up more. This is almost what I would call my own personal 10 out of 10. And I say almost because it starts to weigh the further we go. We'll talk about that later on. Once again, Middle America household, not afraid to show off a cross, doesn't have anything negative to say about religion, no heavy commentary. It does say some stuff about religion later on, but it does it in a way that lifts up the comic. It doesn't pull from it or say, here's your commentary, your piece of the commentary. No, it adds extra depth and flavor into it. It's all mixed together, and it primarily holds up until that last issue. I'm going to have a lot of stuff to say, but I also want to point out once again, look at that artwork. Look
Oh,
at
wow.
that. Look
That's
at that.
really nice.
Yeah, and
Great.
there's
colors.
my huge head next to it. To show you again. This is a big book. This art is huge. I can shove my face into this and look at all the
And
fine
motorboat it.
details. There you go. Amongst other things. All right, get a little saliva on the page, as one should.
He's got like a Christy Rossi type flavor in a way.
Absolutely.
Kind of. Yeah. Oh, it's really good.
Absolutely. Take a look at all that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it blows me away when I turn the page and I see something like that, because you do need that. It is rustic and it is nice, but if I did keep just getting page after page of this, it would have started to get boring. You need to throw some stuff at me like that. And this is when it starts bringing in a mix-up of our main character taking the blame, getting smacked around by the people who he loves, because they think that, oh, you did this terrible thing, when really it was the little brother. And this is when the curse starts to come to life of the little brother stuck underground, pulls himself up from it. We get this
Oh, wow,
beautiful
look at
viewpoint.
that.
Yes.
Wow, I
Yeah.
love that.
That is really nice.
I would actually generally like to see more comics in this size.
I'm gonna steal that.
because, yeah, I would generally like to see more comics in this size, because I truly feel like the basic size keeps me from appreciating the finer details in ways that something larger like this makes it easier to do, because I am just a general reader and viewer. And when I see a small panel in a small book, it's easy to look past the detail and the work that goes into it. But when it's so much larger and in your face, it's really hard not to. It really is. So, it would just generally be nice to see a new standard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like a cool little half page turn where it's like double page spread, and then the page turn is still part of that double page spread. It fits though. It wouldn't fit usually, but this fits. Like it works.
Absolutely. And this first issue drove it home for me.
I'm stealing that.
Steal it all, man. And mind you, guys, this stuff, because it didn't sell on resale, you can get this for like under $20. All the issues.
Really?
Yeah.
The whole box and everything?
The whole box.
Oh, shit.
And this is where we get our first shot of our titular villain to come right there.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
And I love the way that they portray the villain in this.
Wow.
The last page, I'd say it's not the best last page I have ever seen, but knowing that I had all the issues in my hands, it didn't really feel like the last page as much as just turning to the next page, end of volume 1. And it gives us a taste of the gore to come as well. Because it does get crazy.
This is really good.
Absolutely. This blew me away. Issue 2. Wow. This is actually where we start to where it felt like it was slowed down a bit. Still beautiful, still magnificent. I'm gonna flip through certain pages throughout so you guys can see it, but I don't want to ruin too much of the story. Gave you some of one because when when it rates higher in general, I don't want to ruin the story too much. When it rates lower, I'll spoil the entire damn thing for you. I'll spoil the whole thing. But we do get a taste of our villain here, and he has such interesting dialogue, like the way he speaks. Let me read some of it to you right here. I have to pull it away. Oof, you sure didn't sneak a few lead nuggets in there for good measure, Mama, did you? He speaks very strangely to people, like he's talking about carrying something heavy for an old lady, and there's lead nuggets in there. Right here, when she goes up close to him, her dialogue is, "What a pleasure it is to meet a true gentleman. Do you live here?" "I do now. I've been here about a week, and I think I might just be the most beautiful place on earth."
Nice dialogue.
His dialogue is very sweet. Throughout the entire thing, he talks like a sweetheart.
It's all murder.
And very romantic. Well, that's just it. It eventually gets there.
The gentleman murderer.
Let me actually show off this page right here, because this is an interesting way. This
the
conversation,
9 panels grid. Yeah.
His conversation
really nice.
between two people, though I will say the bubble placement here was a little off, because
top line
started reading down here.
Yeah, it doesn't do the S or the Z.
Yeah, and then it felt down here to this bubble, because you read that bubble, you
Yeah.
want to draw down. But I also felt like when I read this, it didn't fully make sense until I jumped to this bubble, because it
Dude,
was
I got
flowing.
my fingers knocked with rulers for not putting like the bubbles inside the panel. So
Yeah.
I've become
Well,
hyper aware of that stuff.
But
you know what's really good about this?
Work.
This
Oh, sorry.
this grid right here, the middle part of it's one, it's the floor, but it's
Yep.
every grid is a different part of the scene. It makes
Yeah,
they're all moving
it's
around.
crazy.
That's what I love
the
about it.
composition's so insane.
I love that. Flow wise, I would have liked it to kind of flow like that, because that seems how
Well-
it reads. But
well,
when I go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I mean, it's breaking a pretty strong convention here. I mean, like if it was a manga or something, it would make more sense. But in this particular regard, yeah, you're jumping to the wrong panel because there's an overlap with dialogue that shouldn't be there. And what's frustrating is, I think it might have been a pre-press error,
You think
because look at how much space is available in that panel.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah,
and it
you're right.
like it just it's frustrating, because like the S or the Z is a very common, like your dialogue or your bubbles or whatever should be a sine wave or like an easy line to follow. This is broken. This goes left to right, and then it's a carriage return, then right to left to right again, but you have something overlapping like that's, and it happens again in in the bottom
Exactly.
panel.
Exactly.
Like I think everything was blown out.
You think
Exactly.
you could have bottom lined the bottom bubble on the third panel to the right instead of overlapping to the last third one? You see how
Yeah.
it overlaps to the bottom? So
Yep.
could you top line the bottom? Would that work for a bottom bubble? Or would
You
that
mean-
work? Because you could overlap. That works if you overlap it in that scene, not the top bubble. The top bubble confuses everybody.
Well, the problem with the bottom one too that it overlaps is it's leading the reader into the wrong panel. The same with the other
Right.
one. Like
Right.
you're in the left and you're reading dialogue, and then there's a period, and then all of a sudden she's interrupting him. But it's like, wait a minute, I got to continue over to the mid. Like as a dyslexic person, this drives me nuts. But like as a reader, you should be reading from left to right. And
Yeah.
what's happening is the dialogue is guiding the reader down, and that's a huge no-no. like I've had
Yeah,
people
yeah.
rip me a new one for doing something similar.
I stammered on this page. I love the
Yeah.
design, but I stammered. The bubbles needed to be much more refined. That's definitely going to take a few points off of this one. Overall, dialogue, very good. Two people bickering, though I do believe they bicker just a bit too much for my taste. Talk about how he has a daughter. He's been gone for the last 5 years. Daughter sick with illness. But then we want to flip over to
Aw.
show off
Oh, nice.
some of
That page is cool.
Yeah.
some more of the crazier aspects here when we start
Great
actually
colors.
getting
Color out of
some of that.
space.
Oh,
Absolutely.
dude, that's wild.
Absolutely. Our lovely titular villain comes to rescue a broken man and heal him, which begins our journey down where this gentleman starts to form his own cult here. Let me see if this is
Ooh.
much more of his flared dialogue. He says, "My lord, what a beautiful spot. Takes a special kind of blindness not to see all this treasure in these hills and hollows as above ground. Wouldn't you agree? Well, almost all." And then he's talking to that gentleman there who's completely broken.
I really like the colors in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the colors are magnificent. And this one, like I pretty much said a lot about this book already. I just want to show you some of the gore because I know I keep going back to the gore, the
I
blood.
wonder what James is really looking for in comics.
Honestly,
Do you have an idea?
yeah.
Meatballs.
Yeah.
Somebody clip this guy. Watch out for him. I don't know.
You guys ready?
They will never find me.
John, you need to put James on a watch list. Call your friends there.
What's this weird, this weird
Hey,
random
you
symbol?
guys are all talking about like, oh, James likes the gore. I've read some of your comic books, all right? You got no leg to stand on. I like the gore. I stare at it with my eyes and go, ooh. You guys spend hours in a room by yourselves drawing it. now you're going to see why I mentioned gore specifically. And this may be maybe not my new standard of gore because this actually isn't gore. I'm going to take it back. It's body horror. And that's
Oh,
what kind
yeah.
of sets me over the top.
Yeah.
You ready for it?
All right.
What?
That's just herpes.
dude.
Can you bring it up closer? Can you put it up closer, please? Oh my, that is awesome. I gotta get the
That's
book.
the sixth jab right there. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Now, this character we know, I'm not going to say who it is. All I'm going to say is when you see them, you're going to feel the impact because this actually does a good job at making you give a damn about these characters.
Wow.
And you're like, oh shit, how's the rest of the family going to handle this as well? Because you're introduced to this person's family. The entire story wraps around these people's family and then slowly evolves to consume the whole town. And once again, signs of good storytelling. It's well paced. It makes me want to continuously see what's on the next page until the last issue. That is, I say keep bringing it up, but there's a curse of the last issue, or like a single issue that can ruin these things. Which is why I mostly buy comics one issue at a time now because I've gotten to the point where I've read a great series till I got to one issue. One issue that makes me just put down the entire thing. This is
Have
when
an
we're
issue with the
introduced. Now, once again, actually, the entire cast white so far.
Whoa.
No, I
What
know.
cast?
Yeah,
That's
yeah. This may be
offensive.
the
There's
only
no
book.
diversity.
This may be
What
the only
cast?
book in quite a while.
I don't feel
But-
represented here.
But here we find out something may be healing these people, and amongst their health, they're spitting out their diseases. This woman is like evacuating a tumor inside her.
Oh,
Oh,
that's cool.
reminds me of kidney failure.
Yeah. So this is when it starts bringing in, well, I'll say the body horror, because there's not much gore to it. Now,
So this is the whole series. This is it.
this
It's
is
a miniseries?
the whole series in my hand. It kind of ends it with this idea where it might continue. I'm going to drop
season 2.
straight go to the last issue. There's a lot of great gore. There's a lot of great writing. I don't want to show off too much because you guys get a sense of what the art is. I want you to go out and buy this. It's cheap. You can buy it on secondhand. I think you can buy it from their website as a graphic novel. You can buy this as a graphic novel on their website, I believe. And they have a buy one get one free that's been going on since like last winter. So I don't think they're coming out with any new comics soon. But I want to talk about the issues because I've been raving, and they're mostly found in this final issue, part 5. When we get to this part, I'm actually blown away. I'm loving the story. I love the characters and everything it has to do with it. There's some small issues. One is our main bad guy takes over the entire town, but we don't get enough time in the comic to see that happen. We see a few instances of cult activity, but then suddenly, boom, everyone in town knows about this guy. Everyone in town's a part of his little cult. And we didn't get that. I didn't get that sense at all going into it. And that pulled me away from the story slightly, but not completely. Now, I'm just going to show off a couple pages because it's brilliant and I don't want to give away too much, but we start getting some very Lovecraftian vibes in this book, that there's something bigger, deeper, underground, and that the cult members may be becoming strange things and are under control now by this thing underground.
Straight out of yeah. Is this Dunwich?
It feels like it a little bit, but it's got a much more Americana vibe. Let's show you some action here, because we do get some freaking blood and guts and shooting some guns in this baby.
Dude, yeah, the guns.
Absolutely.
Bracka.
The action is pretty great. Paneling wise for the action is decent, though at this point in the story where things are picking up a lot, I'd like to see more slanted panels now. Now we're seeing a lot more action. Now you could introduce those more unique layouts. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that. But once again, I do believe it just being generally a larger page and the art so much more easier to consume, that actually kind of diverts me away from really caring too much. Though it does stick out for my usual complaints about paneling and action. Though this is a very nice scene. There are a few, I don't want to call them deaths, let's say injuries that look like they should have been deaths, but they
Mild
weren't.
inconvenience.
Yeah, a few of those, which I don't like. And one big thing,
Oh,
here's
cool.
another great one for you.
Beautiful color.
Oh,
Absolutely. I'm not going to linger too much because I don't want to
Damn.
give away storyline.
Yeah. I'm
One
gonna
big
get them.
thing is like,
Oh yeah.
you get some crazy stuff happen on this page,
practical effects.
Hey, look
and
at
then
me.
suddenly on this page, everything wraps up and it's over. Suddenly.
Oh no, they ran out of budget. They're like, yep, done.
And the next page is years later. Our main, like at that point, I felt so jarred. I was like, wait, that's it? But
Epilogue.
it was a slow burn. I thought we were going to get a bit more. And on top of that, the way the creature was defeated was also, I don't want to say it was anticlimactic, but it wasn't as climactic as it. Yeah. And it's like, this is all nonsense.
One page.
And then we get to the end. We follow him. He's much older. And I have to reread a little bit to remember who that is, because almost every woman in this thing is blonde. Which I get, in this location. It's all in the family. They're all probably going to be blonde, but you can mix it up a little bit, You can at least make them dress a little differently. But I figured, oh, wait, you're the blonde that didn't die. That's who you are.
It's on my business card.
Then it drops it in for no reason. It ends with them basically saying, oh, it's probably still down there. It might come back. Oh, and by the way, my little girl daughter, who is a little tiny girl throughout this entire thing, is back from college. And by the way, she's a lesbian. I'm like, okay,
there we go.
That, I guess there's the check mark. That's how you got this published.
This cements it. Dude. This comic book collection that you showed, I was getting these vibes the whole way through.
Yeah.
This is a series pitch.
You're probably right. It ends feeling like...
likely.
Now, with that, it's a pretty good series pitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like it's
the end sucks.
Lovecraft.
The end sucks. I'd say this actually feels more Americana. It's got that old, like, small town curse vibe through it, and I don't want to give
maybe Stephen Kingish.
Acoustic guitar in the soundtrack.
Stephen Kingish, and once again, like I said, it's not fully woke. It has a moment. It has multiple times it sets up to talk about the environment, to this trashy white people, to talk about race, to talk about religion.
Damn
to make a
whites.
comment. But it waited until the very end to just drop something in there, though it did set it up for a sequel, and I thought that'd be a shitty sequel because then we're going to follow these characters, and that's where you're going to go full woke in your season 2. But for what it is, like, let's just say that they only mention people who are really into the environment once, and they call them eco-jihadists. So someone, so I think that at the end may have been just like someone saying, "Hey, we keep being pressured that this should be in the book." Put it in on the last page where it basically doesn't matter.
I think because this is a bunch of floppies, they came out periodically.
Well, no, these came out all at once.
They released that entire thing all at once.
All at once. Yeah, that was their business model, is just full release.
That's weird.
Why not just make a trade paperback?
That was a TKO's business model. When they released everything, they released it all at once. They released the trade paperback at the same time as all the floppies in this box set.
Well, that's weird.
It probably contributed to their failure.
Yeah. The reason why I mentioned that is because as you pretty much called it out, where you said, shit, like the producers or whatever that are looking at this, because this is, if I'm approaching this from the pitch perspective, the producers are like, you don't have any black people in here. And you know how the diversity crap is. And they're like, well, you got to put some of the other messaging
that
in
doesn't
there.
sound like a woman. You need to pitch it a little more to the side and bring down
Giles!
There you go.
No,
that's it.
So with that said, you're right about season 2. Because if you haven't noticed, like they pull that with the series. The season 1 or episode 1, they got the hook into you. They're like, wow, this is like a Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Wow, this is really good. And then this is faithful to the book. And then season 2, all of a sudden, there's like a random black character in there that wasn't black in the book, or gay this, or like other, and it's like, that's if you want to do business in Hollywood, you want to do business in anything that's motion pictures, you have to play ball, and that's their condition.
And with that said, I have the most accurate and best rating system in the world.
This is my favorite part.
Yes.
Negative 1,000 to $1,000,000. What does this get? This gets, because it's actually really good. There's a lot to love here. This one I would give a solid 800,000 to. 800,000. Slightly better than our last one, which was yours, and that's because the issues I had with this one is, one, when the action started hitting, there wasn't enough action. It was a slow burn. I did enjoy the read. I enjoyed the characters, but then once it started to pick up pace, it went too fast. Way too fast, and that it had a shitty ending. And like I said, that little hint of woke at the end, which was definitely on purpose and completely unneeded for the story you're actually telling. And it just felt too much, like you said, a pitch. It felt like a setup for season 2, which we're most likely never gonna get because this undersold. I can only say that based off of my own research, because they have not released the numbers, but let's just say nobody's talking about the acclaim of Red Fork. All right, most of you are just hearing it for the first time, but that's kind of what we do. We're here to not only review comics, but to explore good and bad comics, what's out there and who's producing what, because most people before this would have never heard of TKO Comics. They have a few good ones out there, a lot of cheap ones because they didn't sell that well. Once again, so if you like this, if you thought this artwork was awesome, because it is, and I kept some really good shit from you in a few of these issues, pick it up. It's cheap. This is poor man's entertainment. You can get it like that. And like I said, it just feels like what's at the end is tacked on. If you go ahead and just ignore the last handful of pages, this is a very good comic. It's worth owning for the price it is. So
I love to see effort put into the packaging as well, like to have a double box like that. It reminds me of, like, remember when you were buying CDs and some albums have these
the liner and
I'm gonna steal that too.
Remember Pulse? Actually, I did steal that.
Somebody arrest this man.
Let me go ahead and show you the back of the box as well. It gives you a breakdown, a mini little biography of the authors, what the story's about. Kind of tells you what they've written beforehand as well. And it's got a giant O here because you buy various box sets. One of them have a T on it, one of them have a K, one of them have an O. So like a way to collect it, But it's
cool.
These are nice, though. The box sets are not equal. I do have a separate box set I can show you right now for a series I have yet to read. Just give me a quick sec. It's right next to me, actually. Right over here. Move the A box of comics, not the box of comics. Pop this baby open, go into here. And I have this one, which is from TKO Comics as well, which is actually it was primarily the cover that sold me, but this box is a bit different because it just kind of opens from the side here, but I have yet to open these comics. They come completely sealed, and what I like is because I talked about creases being on comics. When your comics are boxed, there are no creases on them, gentlemen. There's no crazy handling. This box has damage on it. It's been out there for a couple years. These comics do not. These babies are pristine.
They're expensive, though. Those boxes are expensive.
Yes, they are.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
I am the box king.
That probably is why they.
What are your
I looked into it. It's like, woo, is it pretty expensive for how many?
Especially to Europe.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the packaging, Chris? Because you put a lot of effort into your packaging. Like, what are your impressions do you have about this?
I think it's a solid branding, especially where they work their own corporate logos into it, essentially with the TKO, all that stuff. As far as curb appeal, like putting this on the shelf, I would also have made the series do like complete pictures based on the series so that it encourages collection. So if you got like box set 2, box set 3 or whatever, you actually have planning of, hey, we've got a complete picture here. Maybe it's the TKO logo. I don't know, but that's a behavioral manipulation that gets collectors to buy stuff.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed it. I'm glad I purchased it. The ending kind of sucks, but frankly, that's something that I've noticed from most short story series like this is they rush the ending. I wish they would have added just an extra issue there, but nonetheless, great purchase for the price. I picked that one up for $9.99 plus shipping and handling, which was
awesome, dude.
That's cheap.
These are great prices.
Absolutely. I've said it before. Comic books are poor man's entertainment. They are. You can find so much good comic books for next to nothing.
There are also the superior medium, as John and I was talking about earlier in the show.
Yes.
Because I hate to say people see comics as just a stepping stone to movies or deals. And because it is its own medium, and I think it should be treated as such.
Yes, it is. That's for a lot of things, but yeah. So that one's gonna go into the reread collection for
Nice.
sure.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Fetcher, can I see John's campaign again?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Of course,
Yeah.
but
Let's see
before
that number go.
we're gonna be looking at everybody's shield time, but we're gonna start with the shield time intro before we do.
Convoy, 12 o'clock, on my command! Deploy! Okay, now! Little off course here! Ooh, holy mommy fucking shit!
Oh, there they are. Look at these gorgeous sons of bitches.
There we go. And let's have a look at the campaign real quick. So this is what it was like before we streamed. And let me just do a real quick refresh. I know Art Haida backed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Got 15. Got 2 backers tonight. Oh, it's so close, people. Look at that. So
Yeah,
close.
8%.
92%.
Nice.
Can we get
Yeah.
a couple more backers before the end?
Oh, he'll get at least one more on me. I'm gonna pick that up beginning of next
Hell
month,
yeah.
and then it
Nice.
will appear on this show. And you saw what I say about nice comics.
Yeah,
Hopefully
hey
it's
James, that was a great job on the review. I am really looking forward to seeing what you have to say about my book.
I'm looking forward to reading it, man. I love good material. You know, I love spending my money on stuff that doesn't suck.
Nice.
He's also going to be reviewing my comic, which
I
I'm
will.
a little bit nervous
will.
about too. So it's always good to see because he's coming not from a professional standpoint. He's like really coming from a reader, consumer aspect, which is refreshing. It's nice to see. You do
Yeah.
really good reviews, James. Always
you.
happy to see
Yeah.
those.
James, would you be interested in proofreading my third book?
Sure, man, no problem.
Hell yeah, because I appreciate your feedback.
Yeah, it's
you
really
did the
good.
review of my book last week, so I took some of that, took all the notes. So
It's a good book,
Yeah.
man. I put it in my reread pile.
You
Hell
heard
yeah.
it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Infinitale Chronicles #3 is going to have a lot of gore in it.
actually, it is.
Now, John, I do have a question for you. I noticed
Yeah.
you got physical media in there, and that is so important. Physical media, it needs
Yeah.
to make a comeback.
Mhm.
But are you at all considering also doing digital availability for this?
Yeah, I am. It's that might come soon. We'll see about doing a digital version. And my thing with the digital also is it'll probably be like $5 because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always think it's a little bit, I hope I'm not stepping on anyone's toes, but I always find it odd when you have no printing costs, no shipping,
Yeah.
Yes.
and it costs the same or
Yeah.
and the printed version. But
Yeah, you do that with
Absolutely.
video games too.
Exactly.
Mine
Oh.
is I'm selling my digital at $6.25, so it's right around there. Right around there.
Nice.
I
Nice.
ask because I usually buy one of each. I get a digital to have on my computer and a physical to put on my shelf
There you go.
because
okay,
because
good
I
to
like
know.
having that on the shelf stored away. It's preserved.
And on Fun of My Comic, it's not too hard to add tiers as well. Like even while your campaign is live, you can go in and add them, and Luke just validates them, I think. And
Okay, that
you're
was
good to go.
Boom.
the question I had. So yeah, it's definitely coming then.
Awesome. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, John, for coming on the show, for introducing yourself to the community. We're going to get you hooked in. We'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow on Indie Comic Shop with Aaron C., Chris, myself, and Derek. So we're going to be seeing each other again tomorrow evening, which is
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
And they run a
Round
fun
two.
show. They really do.
Yeah.
Should be fun. This was a lot of fun. Great hangout. And you know,
Awesome, man.
I love that some of the clips that you played, like Condor Man. You know, that doubted me.
You recognize that one. That's good. That's good. Well, we didn't have
find that anywhere on streaming. You know, it's been totally memory hold.
Yeah, which is the first Disney superhero.
Same thing with Free Jack. That was its beginning.
Let's go.
All right, John, you're officially our favorite guest now. And here's a clip we haven't played all evening, but this is a regular one for our show. You guys know what I'm going to play.
Oh, yeah.
Our
Giggity.
favorite, Sabrina.
Italy has given this world so many gifts.
Right? I didn't realize how on theme it was because she is from Italy. This is like I totally meant to do that. That was I thought it through. I am that smart. I thought of it. And here we are. Speaking of the devil, we got Derek in the chat. How you doing, Derek, man?
Hey.
Looking forward to Colton Comics Corner. Follow him on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. Support this campaign. We want to see more comics like this. This is beautiful art, talented writing, and very thoughtful comics. And we're happy to see that we're such a variety of stories in indie comics right now. Mm-hmm. We are living in a golden age of talent and stories. And economically right now, we are struggling. So everyone who supports these books, you're making a huge dent in the creators, in the culture that we're building. So everyone, your presence here is very heartfelt, and we appreciate every one of you. We're going to go quickly through everybody else and promote everyone else's campaigns real quick. Let's start with my good friend here, Mr. Rosario, Scribe Comics.
What up, guys?
You've got a comic in production as well. Tell us what's
in production.
Where can your stalkers find you and follow you?
Well, you're one of my stalkers, remember? The pictures you sent me the other day? Shh, don't say anything. You can find me on X. Yeah, just let it happen. You can find me on X, and then on Saturdays at 8:30, you can find me with this Frenchman over here at the Commandos.
That's right.
And we got to talk to Patrick because he kind of, a little disrespect and left. So we need a little discipline.
So rude.
So rude. But yeah, and catch on Sundays at 10:30 with Ben Herrera. John.
Yeah, we had a great show this Sunday.
Right.
I was on there talking about Rattel, and you guys, we had a good time discussing food and women, which are.
I want to get John on there too. Yeah, I want you to come back maybe too on this Sunday and hang out, man. And then I'll be talking about the comic too, Heavy Automo. So stay tuned. Trailers coming soon. Pages coming soon.
Which is your project. Can you give us a little quick elevator pitch of your comic strike?
Yeah, we have a young boy, Brian, who accidentally finds a giant mech that was built by Dr. Harold.
Wait, how do you accidentally find a giant mech?
Accidentally find a giant
mech.
Oh, well, it happens, man. You stumble upon some laboratory in the city, secret compartment. Oh, what the hell?
Did anybody order a pizza?
I find 3 of those a year.
Yeah, your Doc Brown moment,
Yeah, but James, you're out there looking. You're in the desert. It makes more sense.
They're mostly Chinese.
Oh, very nice.
Guilo.
None of them work, and they fall apart in an hour.
Oh, But then you're hungry for more in 15 minutes.
It got so bad, so fast.
Oh my god.
I totally forgot where I was. Oh,
So
anyway.
you could you're stumbling upon giant mechs accidentally.
Giant Mech and accidentally Giant Mech from Dr. Harold, a rogue scientist that was working for the military that set out Automo to be a force for good, not for evil. And during this adventure, you'll find that this alien race is coming for the mech because it is powered by a neutron star that belongs to them. So stay tuned.
Ooh.
All right.
More to come. It's kind of in a vein of Mazinger, Voltron, Get a Robo, Super Robot,
Star Kid.
Star Kid. I don't know what that is.
And you've got an artist by the name of Ben Herrera,
Ben
who's
Herrera,
also
okay.
on the other side of the ocean. What is it with you guys and getting artists on the other side of the ocean? Like
He's
so
American,
fancy.
by the way. He's a Californian. He's
Yeah,
American.
but he's still you're sending him on the other side of the ocean just to brag. Oh yeah, he's out there in Europe. I got a fancy artist. You trendy creators, you.
Yeah.
That's how one American got around getting replaced.
Just in case people are wondering, Star Kid is about a kid. It's a movie about a kid who finds a mech. There you go.
Oh, I see the tie-in now.
I gotta see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank
Watch
you,
the
Scribe.
trailer.
You're
It's probably
welcome.
not worth watching, to be honest.
Okay. Well, you've just saved me a lot of time then.
Thank you.
James.
Thank you, James. James,
Yeah,
you're the man. Hey, James,
Thank
you
you
and
so
Mike
much,
Fartika. Yeah, you guys gotta fight it out.
Thank you so much, Rosario. Happy to have you on the show again. It was a good time. You got to come back when James is going to review the Incal, which is Moebius, which is one of the most classical comics of all time.
Yes.
That is going to be interesting. Have perspective on it. James, you're like 1/6 of the way in, I think. About.
I am 40 pages in. It's smoking crack crazy so far. The craziest shit is happening. We got talking birds. We got aliens and cryptids with guns. We got gigantic cities with cloning and dead people and not enough gore, but people are getting ripped to bits here and there. So
the gore
nice.
is coming. The gore is coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what exactly do you find weird about it, though?
Besides all the shit that I just said.
Yeah, that all seems normal.
Okay, well, we got this scene where this bird is proselytizing and healing people and talking about, like, basically the city is coming to an end and you must repent. So that's pretty crazy happening in some dude's apartment in the cyberpunk city out of nowhere. And he's all like, hey, where all these people come from? Get out of my house. And then this cryptid alien breaks through the wall. It's like, look, it's a bird. They're not supposed to exist. And it's got guns and starts killing people. And they're all after this thing called the Incal, which we're not necessarily sure what's up with it. But it brought the bird to life so he can go ahead and proselytize. And now they're on the run. And he goes to a place where there's this dude who's changing bodies and getting cloned and shit. And then he's going to get tortured and torn apart. So there's just a lot going on. It really reminded me of my first sexual experience.
So if you want to hear more about this Incal review and James's first sexual experience, like and subscribe. Stay tuned to the show.
Yeah, here's the Incal. Now I do gotta warn you, I got a lot to read. All right, here's the Incal. Here's a random page from the Incal. Okay, and you're gonna get more of that later. But later on, we're also gonna review Dune because I got the graphic novel.
There's
version.
links to the two of them. Also.
But I was stupid. So I decided to pick up volume 2 and volume 3 of Dune. So that might take a little while for me to get through. At the same time, I might just get lazy because I already consumed all this and tell you it's good. You'll find out later on. But overall, I have so much to read.
Good.
It's going to take a little while, but I also have some stuff on the backlog. So hopefully next time we'll get to the Incal. But in case we don't, because this is a lot to read,
it's big.
I have some other stuff that I could possibly bring up, though I'd have to refresh myself on. You can follow us here for that, folks. You can also follow me because I am a short story writer, which is why I take the written portion so seriously. Check my written work out on worldwithoutend.substack.com, worldwithoutendlore.substack.com. I'm currently working on a vampiric short story series. We are going to release one short story every week for about a month and a half. It's going to be really fun. Going to be there for that. But I recently completed a series where you are following an army of orphans in a lawless land, striving to protect it from an ancient evil that has awakened. Hit the trailer, my man. Frederick.
Yes.
Through hollow night, our voices soar. We roam no more, our spirits roar. In dust and shield, our hearts burn free. We sing the spark of destiny. No throne, no crown, no gilded lore. Our oath resounds forevermore. Against the tide, we stand as one. Our crow will echo when dark is done.
Yeah, you're muted, James.
Nice.
Okay, check out the Evergreen at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com, as well as Royal Road at World Without End at Royal Road or on Royal Road. Yes, at season 1, I'll be working on season 2 next year with a few other short story series, as they are all intertwined in the World Without End series, even though that they are drastically different in content. If you know the lore, you know how they easily come together. But it's really fun to write and really fun to produce the trailer as well. I make all my own trailers. So just stay tuned for some stuff to come on this channel and some of my other ones. Oh, and I also run a podcast before this with published authors R.H. Snow and The Black Knight that starts at 3 o'clock California time. Check that out.
Brilliant.
Sweet.
Thank you, James. And now we're going to Mr. Chris Fisk.
Yeah. In a world where pretty people who live forever are cursed. No, just kidding. I'm not gonna.
I was hoping, Chris. You had me there.
Yeah. I mean, I've given the spiel quite a few times. Infinitale Chronicles. It's a lengthy graphic novel series. We're on book 2 now. We're producing book 3. Currently, we're hoping to get the crowdfunding out for book 3 by the end of probably quarter 3 next year. And if you're a fan of like the Dark Crystal and ElfQuest, put those 2 peanut butter chocolate unions together, mash them all around, and throw in a bit of the old ultraviolence, and you've got yourself Infinitale Chronicles, heavily inspired by Welsh mythology like the Mabinogi, and also the Book of Invasions from Ireland. I guess rather than me just blathering, could you fire off one of them trailers?
Yes.
Possibly remember, not the second one, but book 2.
No, it is the second one now because I moved them. I think so.
Oh.
Knowledge is like a seed. When sown in fertile minds, it opens doors to new possibilities. Truth, once buried by the ages, is again revealed. The unimaginable becomes demystified. New wonders are discovered that transcend the limitations of previous understanding. However, some doors should never be opened. Our tale continues with the divergent paths of our heroes. As a naive king toils with ancient powers beyond his control, a grieving queen makes a fateful decision that forever changes their world. Infinito Chronicles, the War of the Trees.
That's right. Both are available. Well, actually, book 2 and book 1 are now available on Amazon. So they're out of the crowdfunding stuff. You get the retail versions. That means you don't get all the cool tchotchkes and additional bonuses of the crowdfunding stuff. But at least you get the cool story. Book 1's 54 full color pages.
And you
book
get
2
Prime delivery like in 2 days or something. It's pretty
Sure.
cool. Pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. I wish I could throw in some of the cool box stuff that I do with the campaigns because it's out of my hands how Amazon delivers it. You know, if you get it in that little bubble wrap thing, I don't have any.
Yeah,
say in
had
that.
to be there and make sure you don't miss out the next campaign, folks, because Chris puts in the extra mile when it's time for packaging. I tell you.
Oh yeah, that's my product design background coming in.
And your Japanese kind of
Korean.
Didn't you live in Japan? Didn't you learn about the gift giving from Japan?
Yes. Yeah. Never get it in a gift giving war with the Japanese. You will lose. They always up the ante. You know. But
I'm turning Korean. I think I'm turning Korean. I really think so.
I know. I do my ancestors disservice where I know I can speak Japanese, but I can't speak Korean.
Shame on you and your ancestry, Chris. But and if you want to watch James's review on Infinity Tale Chronicles #1, go check out our backlog on this channel.
Oh yeah,
James is a pretty good review, which brings us to Mr. Wrangler from Frequency Studios. So, what are you working on, and where can people find you? I don't know why I have an English accent to listen.
You can find me on YouTube. Check out do a channel search for @Wrangler212. And you could also follow me over on the X Twitter @Frequency Studios, but drop the first E because somebody else beat me to that tag. So, oh well. But anyway, you could also find my stuff over on Amazon. I am currently working on books 3 and 4 in the Bad Kitty series, and I'm looking at having book 3 out before the end of the year. Hopefully, book 4 will be out right alongside of it, but at least book 3 will come this year. In the meantime, if you do a search on Amazon for under Bad Kitty Frequency Studios, you'll find books 1 and 2, Haley Star Bad Kitty and Bad Kitty Haley's World. Alien Invasion Problem will get your arm-mounted potato gun ready and go on an adventure with Haley and Elizabeth. It's a little bit Goonies with some sci-fi and fantasy elements and a whole lot of fun. So if you like a good adventure novel, these will do it for you. And if you like to share adventure novels with your kids, I kept it good and clean so you can share this with them without worrying about any of the, a whole lot of things called young adult. They're not meant for that age group. This is good for all ages, and it'll be a good tale to share with your kids and enjoy. And also, if you go over to my Substack under Frequency Studios, you'll find a short story in the same universe about some LA detectives trying to solve a missing persons case. So you can go check that out. I would recommend doing that after Bad Kitty Haley's World because it takes place after that. And, what they did there kind of affects the world. So I don't want to give any spoilers. But if you don't mind spoilers, you can go check it out right away. So you can find all that on Amazon or pretty much anywhere books are sold. And oh, yeah, the Monday nights, Weekly Wing It at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Many of the same faces you see over here. We hang out on the show. It's a casual hangout show and open topic. We just talk about whatever happens to come to mind or anything we saw over the last week. We go in, it's pretty casual, hang out, come jump in the live chat. Occasionally, I get a little risky, and I throw the link to come join us on panel in the live chat as well. So come on, hang out with us, and be just as surprised by what we say as we are.
Should I hit that trailer?
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Haley and Elizabeth are back, and this time the spuds are really going to fly. Who's wild? And this time the spuds
Yeah.
As I'm so fond of saying, it's amazing how many problems a well-aimed arm-mounted potato gun can solve.
And of course, I have been your host, Frédéric Guimont. Thank you so much for tuning in such high numbers. We've got 75 people watching. This is a record for this show. So thank you so much, everybody. It's good to have you all. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I also have a book coming out. I'm in the Second Chance campaign. We're just about to hit the printer out the backside of the head. No, I mean sending the files. So if you want to secure your copy, back it today at retailcomic.com. It's a superhero story, 90s style artwork, but very much set in today's world with the sci-fi hint of today's technology. Have a look at the trailer. Here we go.
Our world is crumbling, and most people are blind to it. A young computer whiz named Raimi decides to stand against the rising tide of oppression, only to find himself under the boot of those behind it all. Incarceration only proves to refine his resolve. Divine intervention takes away all fear from him in order to fix a broken system that enslaves us all. There comes a time when good men must ignore bad laws. Raimi dons a mask and becomes Rattel. Rattel uses intelligence and technology to combat ancient and dark forces for justice and a better tomorrow. Will Rattel take down the technocratic tyrants who've harnessed an ancient evil, or be crushed by the invisible hand?
And that's it for our show today, tonight, this week. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will be heading over to Katie Did's channel for CG After Dark, where we will be promoting Super Killers. So if you're interested in that, check us out over there. I want to thank John Colton again for coming on tonight, introducing himself to the space. And you can see him again tomorrow on Aaron C. Immortal Rising's channel.
Oh, yeah.
Around 7:15, 7:30, usually Eastern time, with Chris Fisk and myself, as well as Derek, who's going to be there. So we're going to find out more.
And you can usually find me creeping in the live chat over there.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's the Shia LaBeouf of our show.
You creep, you.
Just do it.
So support the Three Brothers Gruff. Check that out. Check out also Paul Bunyan versus Dracula. You won't find anything else like it in the comic space. And I'll catch you again next week. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody.
Bye.
Love you.
God
all.
bless everybody.
Wars, war, war, war,